You don't always have to be the smartest person in the room, but if you are one of the most willing to learn, that will get you very far. I went from talking about balance sheets to conversations about AI ethics and enterprise governance. And it felt like joining a new gym. It's very intimidating, but then eventually you start to enjoy the pain. But I learned that people don't want a perfect leader. They prefer a authentic leader, someone who's very comfortable in saying, I don't know yet, but we'll figure it out together. But what helped me stay was my curiosity and also surrounding myself with people smarter than me. And sometimes be willing to ask the dumb questions that everyone else is secretly thinking, but they don't want to ask out loud. Your expertise, what you're really good at, will get you in the room. But your ability to build trust, influence, and uplift others is what will keep you in the room.
You're listening to Data Analytics Chat, where data meets career.
Welcome back to Data Analytics Chat, the podcast where we discuss the world of data, AI, and the careers shaping it. My guest today is Carol Kim, who is the Executive Director at IBM. In today's episode, we'll explore her journey, the challenges, and the insights she has learned during her career to date. And the data topic for this week will be why data governance and data quality are important. Carol, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you so much for having me. I'm genuinely excited to talk about the two things I care deeply about. One is career, because it shaped who I am, and data, because it explains everything in the world.
Yep, I'm looking forward to this. So do you want to, let's dive in. Do you want to walk us through your career journey and how you've ended up in your current role?
Absolutely. And I'll start by saying that my career, it was not a straight line. I started in finance, CPA by trade. So I did a lot of roles in treasury, pricing, global finance, and planning across different parts of the world. And while doing finance, I realized a pattern, which was quality of our data. And that really helped make a meaningful business decision. So that curiosity eventually led me to IBM's Chief Data Office. And that's where I fell in love with the art and science of transforming raw and messy data into insights that people can trust. And that was very satisfying for me to turn chaos into clarity. So fast forward to today, I'm the Director of Technology, Data, and AI at IBM's Global Real Estate Organization. And what that means is I get to play with data, design, and technology to not only reshape where we work, but how we work and also why we work. We don't just manage real estate, we create intelligent, human-centered workplaces. So think of smart buildings that can predict maintenance, monitor energy usage, or personalize employee experience. And for me, it's the most tangible version of where data and AI works together in the real world.
And I know you've obviously born in Korea and you've traveled. How was that for you?
Oh, traveling. I grew up moving every 3 to 5 years. So traveling to me is a delight. I enjoy it very much, learning new cultures, meeting new people, eating new types of food. For work as well, I traveled and worked in many different countries throughout the globe. And I think it really helped shape who I am today.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's obviously when you go to different cultures, you just learn, don't you? It's just you adapt.
Absolutely.
So how did you find moving to different cultures? Because obviously you've gone from one side of the world to the other. It's completely different.
Oh, it's interesting you asked that. So in IBM Korea, I was told that I was too outspoken. When I worked in IBM Australia, I was good. I had no complaints. When I came to the IBM US, they told me I was too quiet. You have to adapt to the norm of that culture and the expectations on how you want to portray yourself. And that took time to adapt, but I quickly learned that it's a little bit of adjustment, a little bit of figuring out what people look for in a leadership quality or leadership trait. and make sure that your strengths stand out.
And what do you think's made you be able to adapt? Because obviously it is a skill set in its own.
Yeah, I would say continuous reinvention, stay curious, stay adaptable, stay humble. Another one was courage. You don't always have to be the smartest person in the room, but if you are one of the most willing to learn, that will get you very far.
And was that, how did you, obviously that willingness to learn, was that from family or was it something inside yourself? How did you, because everyone's got different personality and different goals, haven't they? And like you said, you don't need to be the smartest one in the room. You need to, I think, play to your strengths.
I think for me, it was because I had to move around every 3 to 5 years. I had to have that innate curiosity in order to learn new things, new people, new culture. And for me, I don't like getting bored. So every couple of years, I would raise my hand and move to a new role, ask for new opportunities. And I think it's a personality trait.
Okay, good. And that was actually going to be one of my questions is how, obviously, well done to IBM. They've kept you like over 20 years at one company. And that's obviously that's rare today. So is it just because you've moved about? Is it that's in different positions? Is that what's kept you at one company?
I think it's when I think about moments that really helped me shift the direction of my career because I went from finance into tech. One is stepping outside of your comfort zone. So for me, leaping outside of my comfort zone of finance to the chief data office was a big leap. I went from talking about balance sheets to conversations about AI ethics and enterprise governance. And it felt like joining a new gym. It's very intimidating, but then eventually you start to enjoy the pain. And that's where I really had the front row seat to learn about global data strategy. And then transformation. Stepping into real estate was a totally new field for me as well. And most people don't immediately connect buildings to data. And when I tell them what I do, they imagine like I'm out there choosing carpet samples. But real estate is one of the richest data ecosystems we have. Think of sensors, Internet of Things devices, IoT devices, occupancy, sustainability metrics. Buildings today practically talk. And when I saw how data could change how people feel in a space, I found this to be very interesting, which I enjoy very much.
Brilliant. So then, like, looking back, has there been standout moments that really shift the direction of your career?
One of the standout moments was when I realized that storytelling is a big factor in a career. When I was in finance, I realized I could present the same two versions of the exact same financial analysis to a leadership team with two different narratives, and you get two different reactions, even though it's the same data. One could create fear and one could create an opportunity. So that's when I realized data doesn't speak for itself, people do. So storytelling is a very big thing that I learned that really helped reshape and shift the direction of my career. And like I said, moving out of my comfort zone, moving into technology, and that took courage. And I'm glad I did, and because I love what I do.
Did you get those storytelling skills? Was it like, did you like mentoring, training? Because obviously the way data is going now, even like data scientist roles, data engineering, they're coming more business focused. So you need to be able to communicate with the business as opposed to previously where you're more in a tech team.
Absolutely. I consider myself the bridge between technology and the business side. So I help the business side understand what technology can and cannot do for them. And then I translate the business need back to the technology side so that our data scientists and engineers and developers and architects could translate that business need into what is required to build something that will be meaningful to the business.
And sorry, how do you like learn those skills? Because obviously I think that's so important in today's age.
How do you learn those skills? Know your audience. I always try to create a win-win situation that benefits both sides. I like to explain everything simply so that anyone could understand it. And I like to use a lot of examples.
And then, what's been the tough challenge that you've run into during your career?
Let's see. There's plenty of challenges. I could think of two off the top of my head. One was transitioning from being a individual contributor to being a leader. Because suddenly your success is measured by not what you deliver, but what your team delivers. So for me, it was like becoming a parent where everyone is an adult and they can quit. And it took time, but I learned that people don't want a perfect leader. They prefer a authentic leader, someone who's very comfortable in saying, I don't know yet, but we'll figure it out together. So that was the challenges that I had to figure out. And the other one is, I think, courage. Stepping outside of your comfort zone. For me, moving out of finance, stepping into the world of data and AI and technology, it was very intimidating at first. I questioned, do I belong here? But what helped me stay was my curiosity and also surrounding myself with people smarter than me. And sometimes be willing to ask the dumb questions that everyone else is secretly thinking, but they don't want to ask out loud.
Yeah, definitely. And see, even when I tried to study computer science when I was at first year university, but I was a college dropout. And obviously, even then, there was barely any women on the course. So how was that? Obviously, it was a massive jump from finance into tech when it's heavily male-driven, especially back then. It's obviously slightly getting better nowadays. How did you find that? Because obviously, that's a big step.
It was fascinating. I fell in love immediately. I just loved combining data into insights and going to explain to other people what I found. And to me, that's what motivated me every day. Being a female, I didn't see any hindrance from my company was very supportive. My manager was very supportive. I believe I brought a very different perspective because I came from the finance side. So I was able to ROI in a space where it was very hard to calculate the return on investment for doing data and analytics and creating models that have future value down the road, not immediate value. So to me, I love the challenge, and I'm so happy to see more females enter this space. And I think it's a great experience for anyone. I think everyone should learn how data works.
Yeah, and I think it's fascinating now as businesses are becoming more and more data driven, that people coming from the business domain, you can add so much value because you obviously know that whether it's procurement, marketing, finance, you're a specialist in that area. And if you can apply that with data, that's where you're going to add so much value to the business.
Absolutely.
So then as you've moved into leadership, what skills, mindsets have made the biggest difference for you?
I think we touched on most of them already, Ben, but I would say clarity, accountability, storytelling for sure, and continuously reinventing yourself. For clarity, for me, I feel teams really thrive when the expectations are clear, what success is, how decisions are made, who owns what, because ambiguity is really where the stress breeds. And then accountability in the sense that you can hold people to a high bar and still be deeply human, meaning you don't have to be a micromanager. And storytelling is very important because if you can't articulate the why, your message, it will never land and it won't move people. And continuous reinvention, I try to embody that all the time. Stay curious, stay adaptable, stay humble, and learn new things.
Brilliant. Then what advice would you give someone who wants to grow into a top leadership role?
I would say two things. First, get really good at something. And then second, get really good at people, right? Your expertise, what you're really good at, will get you in the room. But your ability to build trust, influence, and uplift others is what will keep you in the room. And to be really good with people, you shouldn't rush it, right? Leadership is earned through consistency, not ambition. If you chase the title, you'll end up burning out. But if you chase impact, I think you'll grow. So I would say get really good at something and then get really good at people.
Yep. I see. That's the big challenge, isn't it? When people move into leadership, it's the people soft skills is I see the massive challenge.
Yes.
Cool. Let's dive into the data thing. And so we're going to look at why is data governance and data quality important. Obviously, it's a massive and growing topic, in my opinion, nowadays. So we often hear the phrase garbage in, garbage out. So how does poor data quality actually impact decision making in real world business scenarios?
Yes. That phrase that everyone says, garbage in, garbage out, it's cute until it costs you millions, right? Poor data quality isn't just messy spreadsheets. You could make bad decisions because the numbers didn't update properly. You could miss compliance deadlines because two systems refused to talk to each other. You could lose hours trying to clean your data instead of analyzing it. Or the worst part is when you actually lose people's trust because the data quality isn't there. So in my mind, it's the hidden tax on every business, and most leaders don't even know they're paying it.
What, do you think it's just a sort of neglected in business context? Because there's a lot more emphasis now data quality, isn't there, as before? Businesses were more focused on, I guess, on the building models, hiring data scientists, etc. So do you think it's just more of a learning situation that we're in, or is there an alternative you could think of?
I think AI is a big boom right now. And in order to get AI to work, your data has to be there. You have to have good quality data, which I think people are seeing more and more because you can't do AI with bad data. So I think it's becoming more highlighted, and I'm trying to think. Yeah, data-driven decision-making is such a key thing that everyone's striving to do within their departments and functional units. And without good data, you're never going to get there. So I think the emphasis on good quality data that people can trust has become a big, important topic that everyone is now looking to clean up their data and apply governance to it.
Yeah, and it's obviously it's not an easy task either. It's especially for more mature businesses. Obviously, they've got so much data, and the complexities there. So I think like you touched on, like to get AI working, you need to be, and you want to get the high percentages, you need to be getting your data so good. So then many companies claim to have a data-driven culture, but how can you be data-driven if your data isn't governed or trusted?
Exactly. You can't be data-driven if your data is lying to you. Governance is your GPS. It tells you where your data came from, who owns it, how is it protected, is it biased or not. So I think being data-driven isn't about pretty dashboards. It's really about the confidence around, can you trust the data and the insights that it's telling you?
What does data-driven actually mean in practice for you?
In my mind, being data-driven refers to making decisions, strategies, or actions based on the data analysis and interpretation rather than intuition, assumptions, or personal experience. So in practice, it means collecting the relevant data from a reliable source that you can trust. It means analyzing the data using methods, tools to extract the insight, and then being able to make the decision based on evidence that's supported by data trends and patterns, and one that you can continuously improve and build on as new data becomes available.
Okay. Because everyone claims to be data-driven, don't they, at the moment? When I think it's like everyone's on a different journey, in my opinion. Like data, like everyone's at a different stage.
Yes.
So where do you typically see data governance break down first? Is it people, processing, or technology?
I think it's always the people. I think technology will do exactly what you configure it to do. Processes can always be documented and edited. But people, they have opinions, they have calendars, they have different interpretations of a spreadsheet. So I see it typically break down on the people side first. So that's why at IBM, we created a data officer council. It's executives across each business unit who co-own our data governance standards so that everyone is speaking the same data language, which is half the battle then.
So is it more, in your opinion, like leadership, getting people on board? Is that where the big challenge is to execute?
Yeah, if you start creating data standards within your own business department and that doesn't span out across the entire enterprise, you're siloed yet again. So we're trying to do this from the top to bottom across the entire enterprise so that everyone speaks the same language from the beginning.
Yeah, no, I like that. It's because data's been around, but it's obviously new for many people within a business, isn't it? Everyone's got to learn. There's the knowledge transfer. It's a whole transformation piece.
Absolutely.
So what would be the hidden costs of ignoring data quality?
Beyond compliance fines or technical debt, I would say one of the biggest costs is lost opportunity. Because when people don't trust the data, they stop using it. And when they stop using it, the innovation and what you've built till now, it just collapses. People don't use it and you lose that competitive advantage. So for me, clean data doesn't just reduce risk, it creates momentum where you continuously build on what all your deliverables in the past, and it creates opportunity.
And then have you been in like meetings where sort of executive decisions have been made on flawed data then?
Absolutely. Yes. As long as they can trust the data and everyone agrees with it, yes, decisions are made based on the data.
So it's important. So, a lot of work must go into this. Okay, cool. And then if you are advising a company starting from scratch, what would you have as the non-negotiables for building an effective data governance?
I would say 3 things. Number 1, clear owner. Every data set needs one name next to it, not a team, not a committee, but one person. Because if everyone owns it, no one really owns it. So I would say number 1 is clear data ownership. Second one would be data literacy. Everyone should understand what good data means. It's not a technical skill, it's a business survival skill. So once you know what good data is, you'll know when you see bad data. And then third, I would go to automation and AI. Use AI to monitor your automation and AI, right? Automate lineage, quality checks, alerts, so that governance isn't manual policing. Nobody wants to manually track data fields. So combine automation, transparency, accountability, and then governance becomes an enabler, not a bottleneck.
Brilliant. So thank you for your time today. It's been great to have your insights and obviously your discussion around data governance and data quality, and also hearing about your career. It's obviously amazing to hear that you've moved from domain into data.
Thank you so much, Ben.
You've been listening to Data Analytics Chat Podcast. Subscribe to our channel for more stories and insights in data and career.